very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to our webinar. This month, we will be featuring BYD as the subject matter of our patent case study. So this is the third in the series of patent to profit webinar that we have been doing for year 2024. This year, we have covered topics like 3M, patent strategy case study, and also Microsoft. And today we are going to look at BYD. Okay, I would like to first start by short introduction about myself. I'm a patent lawyer by profession. Been involved in this industry for more than 20 years, actively involved in the patent protection and also the monetization strategy in the ASEAN region, headquarters in Singapore and covering ASEAN regions. Okay, so let's jump into BYD. Yeah, as you know, BYD is one of the world's largest and leading green tech company from China, right? It produces lithium battery originally. Now it expanded into electrical vehicles like cars, buses, trucks, train, and also solar panel. This presentation will look into how BYD utilizes patent and intellectual property rights to effectively safeguard its technology, to protect its market share, and to establish a sustainable competitive advantage. A little bit background about BYD, right? BYD was founded by Mr. Wang Chuanfu way back, I think, in 1995. And okay, 1995, Mr. Wang was a researcher, a battery researcher. He resigned and he borrowed some money and he started a factory to build battery for mobile phone. The name coined by Mr. Huang, BYD stood for Build Your Dream, right? And in 2003, BYD acquired a Chinese car automotive company, Xi'an Qingchen, and stepped into the automotive industry from the battery industry. And BYD built its first gasoline car in year 2005 and a fully powered battery car in 2006. Yeah, it came from a very humble beginning, less than 20 years ago. And today, BYD is already the world's largest electrical vehicle company, capturing more than 17% of the world market share. BYD electrical vehicle is present in more than 400 cities in 70 countries across 6 continents. Last year, BYD recorded a phenomenal growth, 42% annual growth. That is a mouth-watering number, and also holds the Guinness World Record for producing 7 million electrical vehicles. So it has got BYD has came a long way, and from a very humble beginning to one of the largest electrical vehicle manufacturers in the world. So in 2023, BYD produced more than 3 million electrical vehicles. For the first time in Q4 2024, the number of electrical vehicles produced by BYD has overtaken the one produced by Tesla. So it captures 17% of the global EV market. And if you look at the statistic, it is mind-boggling. BYD took 13 years to produce 1 million vehicles. 18 months later, which is at the end of 2022, the 3 million vehicle roll off its assembly line. Excitingly, 9 months later, end 2023, BYD has surpassed 5 million new electrical vehicles. 6 months later, which is March 2024, BYD produced its 7 million new electrical vehicle. This is a remarkable. Yeah, look at the number. It takes 6 months, originally 3 months, then 6 months to produce another 2 million vehicle. And it is currently one of the fastest growing car manufacturers in the world. So what is the secret sauce of BYD success, right? So for the strategy, we will look at we have to look at the framework. And in all my series, I always refer to the Michael Porter's competitive strategy framework. Professor Michael Porter's, according to Professor Michael Porter's strategy framework, for a company to be competitive, right, to have a sustainable competitive advantage, there are 3 strategic options open to organization. First, you either choose to be a cost leader or you be a differentiator, right? And third, you have to look at the focus, which niche market you want to be in. So Professor Michael Porter was of the view that any company who try to do all 3 at the same time will be a firm stuck in the middle, and it is in a very weak strategic position. So we have seen our earlier case study, you have looked at Tesla. Tesla is definitely a differentiator, right? Selling to the well-to-do, well-off customer. But today, another electrical company, BYD, what they have adopted, the strategic position that they have taken, to be that of a cost leader, right? Cost leader, cost efficiency is one of the key competitive advantage for BYD compared to other competitors like Tesla. Cost leadership is a very important component of BYD success. So BYD is able to attain cost leadership in the global marketplace due to a number of factors. For example, the lower cost of human resource in China is one factor. Extensive support by the Chinese government to EV manufacturers is another factor. But I think the most important factor is BYD has a very extensive vertical integration business model. So the competitive pricing make BYD electrical vehicle accessible to a wider range of consumer. Tesla EV is only accessible to the well-to-do consumer, but BYD is accessible to all range of customer in cost-sensitive market, and it enable BYD to gain good market share and boost overall sales in its market. Okay, so extensive vertical integration is achieved by BYD producing majority of its part in-house. Using this model, BYD does not have to rely on external vendor for spare part. It can optimize its supply chain, it can reduce costs, and the cost saving is passed to the benefit of the consumer in the form of competitive pricing. And also vertical integrations allow BYD to create unique capability and unique IPs, right? So all these parts are produced in-house and you have the in-house innovation on this part. So this set BYD apart from other competitors. If you compare BYD's electrical car to, for example, Volkswagen electrical car, you can see that for BYD, except for glass, tires, and steel plates, all the other electronic components are made in-house. And many of those electronics in-house components are innovative components which are patent protected, yeah, which we are going to look at some of those components later. Compare that to Volkswagen, it has all its components supplied by different players. So this is one of the key reasons why BYD is able to achieve cost competitiveness. Of course, there are other contributing factors to BYD's growth: strong governmental support, incentive for EV, This is one of the key issue for European and US market. They are erecting tariff to stop importations of Chinese EV car. One of the reason is this EV incentive by Chinese government. But for the case of BYD, we should also look at the continuous investment in R&D and innovation done by BYD that enables the company to stay ahead of the curve, coming up with cutting-edge technology that meets the evolving needs of the customers. And BYD, compared to other manufacturers, are able to come up with new models with new features faster than their competitors. So today we are going to look at some of the key technologies, key innovation by BYD, like the blade technology, blade battery technology, cell-to-body C2B technology, cell-to-chassis C2C technology, the DMI super hybrid system, the E4 power system, and DISUS intelligent body control systems. So these are some of the technological milestone created by BYD that set new standards in the industry and solidify BYD position as the trailblazer of the electronics vehicle market. So with all this technological innovation, BYD created a technology pool, right? This technology pool, and BYD is able to componentize. All these technologies are like component. You can pick and play. You can just put them together and come up with a new model to meet the changing market demand. So by having this technology pool, using technology componentization strategy, BYD is able to change very swiftly to meet market demand. And it was able, the last 3 years, bewildering array of new models with innovative features to capture certain market segment and become market leaders in those market segments in a very short time. And this is what we have witnessed for the last 2 years. Okay, so with this innovation, again, you need to own it, right? You need to create an economic buffer over this innovation. So Warren Buffett has come up with this concept of economic moat. If you have any technology to be sustainable, to have a sustainable competitive advantage, you need to create a moat, a barrier of entry for competitors to prevent competitors from coming in and to copy the technology. So this is what exactly BYD has done. BYD has created a lot of technology, and it also creates a strong economic moat in the form of patents, in the form of brands and other IPs. Today's webinar, we are going to explore how BYD has relied on some of the patent. BYD has a lot of patents, but we're going to pick some of the patents that we feel are most representative of those technology breakthrough to protect its innovation to achieve sustainable economic advantage. Okay, so before we go into the patent owned by BYD to protect those key technologies, I think it's good to pause for a while and look at some of the fundamentals of patent, some of the fundamentals of IP for those of you who probably are new to the world of IP. So when we talk about IPs, we look at a series of legal rights. Each of these legal rights protects different kind of ideas, right? So basically, you have patents, you have new technology, new invention, you need to patent it to own the invention, the technology. So if you have certain creative content, like your video, like your song, then you copyright the content. If you have a brand like BYD brand, then you need to trademark the brand. If you have a unique shape for example, the shape of the car, then you need to file design protection over the car. And trade secrets are a lot of proprietary information that you don't want to share with the market, to the world, then you can own it as a trade secret. So all these intellectual properties are intangible asset. It is something that you cannot see, you cannot touch, but it is recognized under the law as an asset. You can actually capitalize the intellectual property in your books to become a form of asset, and you can sell those assets, and you can create, you can license those assets to your competitors, to the market, right? So these assets is valuable because all these legal rights comes in the form of monopolistic rights. So if you come up with technology and you file a patent on the technology, then you have the monopolistic right to manufacture, to sell, or to use the technology in your commercial activities. So this monopolistic rights makes intellectual property valuable. And all these intellectual properties, they are limited by jurisdiction, in the sense that if you want this monopolistic legal rights, you have to go to the government of the land to get this legal monopolistic right. So if you want protection in Singapore, you need to go to the Singapore government. You want protection in China, the Chinese government. So patent, you have to file in multi-jurisdictional to enjoy protections in different countries. And all these IPs are limited by time. It will expire after a certain duration. So these are the common characteristics of IPs. And undoubtedly, intellectual property is one of the main engine of growth for many innovative companies, including BYD. So BYD has created a lot of innovative ideas on how to make their electrical car, run longer range and become safer. All these innovation ideas, you can own it by filing a patent. And if your idea is on the creative expression, then you copyright it. If your idea is on the branding side, you trademark it. If your idea is on the new shape, then you industrial design it. This is how our legal system protect new ideas, right? So, and according to a survey conducted by Ocean Tomo is actually Ocean Tomo is actually a market research company. Intangible asset is the most important asset of all companies now. In year 2020, more than 90% of the value of a company comes from intangible asset. And intangible asset, most of the intangible assets comes in the form of intellectual properties, right? So this is the reason why companies like BYD, they have to rely on intellectual properties to protect their invention, and the most of the value of BYD will also come from those intellectual properties. Okay, so what are the basic functions of IP? If you have an idea and you protect it with IP, the two basic functions is you create a barrier of entry. So if the competitor were to come in, they look at your idea and they want to copy your idea, then you can stop it using your intellectual property rights. And secondly, when you come up with an idea and you want to enter a particular market, your competitors may already file some patent, right? So you need to make sure you have freedom to operate, right? When you file an IP, no one can stop you from selling a technology, because your technology is owned by you and not by your competitors. So these are the two basic functions, the two reasons why companies need to file IP, especially and different types of IP protects different kinds of ideas. And also a short introduction about patent, which is the key subject matter that we will be looking at afterwards at BYD's patent portfolio. Basically, there are 4 categories of invention. All the invention under the sun, you can divide into 4 categories. You can file 4 types of patent. Basically, patent is a game of combination, right? So when you come up with a new combination and you want to solve a problem, you can own this combination by filing a patent. So when you file a patent, effectively what you own is what is written in the claim, and those written in the claim comprise of a combination of parts. And in the case of article of manufacturer, you have combination of non-moving parts. So 3M POSIT is an example of an article patent. In our last webinar on 3M, we shared how 3M patent this POSIT it consists of combination of paper and glue. So combining paper and glue together, this combination can be owned by filing a patent claiming this combination. And you can have machine patent when you have combination of moving parts put together, then you can create a machine patent. Example of machine patents is like Xerox. It can be aircon by Carrier. These are the example of machine patent. Then you can also, when you come up with a combination of steps, then you can protect it by filing a process patent, or you come up with a combination of composition. You can own the composition by filing a composition of matter of patent. So in the case of BYD, a lot of their patents are in the machine, and also some of it are in the article patents, right? So we'll share, and also process. So some of the patent by BYD also cover. So basically, what you need to know is when you come up with a combination and you want to own this combination, you can file a patent if it meets the 3 basic criteria. First criteria is it has to be novel, right? This combination is new in the world. No one has done this combination before. Second, inventive, meaning the combination gives a certain technical effect better than the old combination. Thirdly, is useful, meaning it works in the actual industrial setting, right? So if you can meet these 3 criteria, then you can get a patent. In the context of patent, sometimes if your invention is not inventive enough, then there is something called utility model. Afterwards, some of the examples filed by BYD are in the form of utility model. You can also protect a new invention as utility model if it's new but not too inventive, but it's something that you can see later from the BYD example. Okay, so I will jump into the BYD patent case study now, having explained the background, BYD background, and also some background to intellectual property rights. So, okay, so I will start by looking at some of the numbers, patent filing numbers by BYD, right? By 31st of December 2022, BYD has accumulative filed more than 31,900 patents in China. 31,000 patents. Of the 31,000 patents, 15,000 patents are invention patent, and 13,000 are utility model. As I mentioned just now, utility model protects a new combination, but not very inventive, but slightly inventive, right? This is called the utility model. And also they filed 2,500 industrial design. These are the statistic that I got from the annual reports from BYD. Okay, and also over the years, out of the 31,900 patent, 23,000 patent has been awarded in China. At the same time, BYD has filed 7,800 patents overseas, because patent is jurisdictional. So if your technology, you want to own a technology in other countries, you have to file them overseas. So 7,800 patents overseas, out of which 3,700 patent has been awarded overseas. BYD has filed about 3,700 patents in year 2022, which is an increase from the year before. And according to reports, BYD filed an average of 19 patents every workday, right? There's a lot of innovation going on across 11 research centers in China, 19 patents per day. This is the numbers of patent filing by BYD. The markets, right? The markets, China is the key market for BYD's technology. Therefore, BYD filed the most patent in mainland China, followed by America with 1,009 patents. Europe, Germany, South Korea, Japan. Also, they filed quite a number of patents because these are the key markets. Not the key markets, but these are the countries where they have a lot of competitors. So they need to own the technologies in those key markets also. So this is the statistics on the jurisdiction. And next is the number of patent filing by BYD compared to Tesla. The graph, from the graph you can see that BYD filed a lot more patent than Tesla. According to a data published by Patent Results, BYD between 2003 to 2022 has filed 13,000 patents compared to 863 patents over the same period by Tesla. So you can see that the approach by the two companies are very different when it comes to technology protection, with BYD jealously protecting all the technological innovation on EV that they have produced. I think one of the key reasons is they want to gain freedom to operate, right? When you sell your car to the world, you have a lot of incumbent players, and these incumbent players will use their patent to stop you from entering the market. So patent, to a certain extent, is a bargaining chip. The more patents you own, the more bargaining power you have. So, if anyone were to use patent to stop me from expanding my market share, I can use my patent as a weapon, right, to counterattack. So this is one of the key reasons why BYD filed so many patents. Okay, so these are the key technological timeline by BYD over the years. You can see one of the major breakthrough on battery integration was filed in 2019, Blade battery. We will look into it. And in 2021, BYD launched cell to body technology and also cell to chassis technology. And these two also relates to battery integration. We will look at these three key technological innovation and the patents that protect this innovation. And on top of the battery integration technology, BYD has also come up with other features to improve the customer experience. One of the chief technological breakthrough this area is the E4 platform, which was introduced in 2023, and also the DSUS body control system also launched in 2023. And BYD has filed patents to protect those technology also. So this will be the subject matters of our discussion today. So our team has done their research and summarized some of the key patents in this handbook, which you can download and you can read at your leisure. But as you know, those technological breakthroughs are protected by a big portfolio of patents. The Blade battery alone is covered by more than 300 patents. So we only select one that we feel is most representative of the technology and easier to explain today to be used as our case study. Okay, so battery integration. I would like to start with the BYD innovation on battery innovation. Okay, I think traditionally electrical vehicles, in order to the traditional battery integration uses cell to module to body. So in order to put battery to a car, electrical vehicle, you have to first put it on a module and the module to a car, right? But this module has very poor space utilization efficiency, only 40%. So meaning with that limited confine of a car, when you put in a module, then you have no other space for other component. The car has to be bulky, and then you cannot put too many battery. So the key direction of research for electrical vehicle over this past few years is to try to put as many battery cell as possible into the car and make it as compact as possible, as energy dense as possible. So there is a movement to move from cell to module, to cell to pack, and from there to cell to body, making a battery cell as part of the body, and finally making battery or the battery cell as part of the chassis for the vehicle. So this is the movement. So what is the BYD solution? So BYD came up with a new battery called Blade battery in 2019. Yeah, this battery is different from the traditional cylindrical lithium battery. It comes in a form. It comes in a rectangular form. It is made of lithium iron phosphate LFP sheet, and they are stacked together and they are put inside a rectangular metal plate, and you fill it with electrolyte, and it is presented in a blade-like formation. That's the reason why it is called a blade battery. So this blade battery has technical advantages. First, energy density. You have a higher energy density, you can drive longer. It has safety feature. One of the concern of electrical vehicle driver is the thermal runaway. When you have cylindrical lithium battery, sometimes you have short circuit, then that you have fire hazard. So this blade battery solve that problem, and more also it has a more streamlined design. So meaning it can you can pack the battery more efficiently, and you can better utilize the space. So these are the technical advantages of blade battery. So in the BYD cell-to-pack solution, so BYD put all this battery into the rectangular blade form and eliminate the need for module. So you directly integrate the blade battery into a battery pack. So by doing so, you take out the module, you improve the space utilization, the battery, then the battery become denser. So BYD filed a patent in 2021 on how to integrate the blade battery into a battery pack. So using this blade battery and using this battery pack, you can improve the driving range. You can drive fast, longer, safer, more reliable, and more secure. So this is the key concern of all the consumer when it comes to electric car. If the battery will die off halfway through your journey, it will burn by itself, right? That's always the concern. But this blade battery is solved that problem, and BYD came up with a way to integrate that into the battery pack. And this patent was filed in China, and of course they also filed in US, and we use the US version for our case study today. So this patent, as I mentioned just now, is a combination that you own in a patent. And what is the combination owned by this patent? It is about how you put blade battery into a pack, and if you read, it's a combination, right? It's a battery housing, cell accommodating unit in one direction, okay, and the battery pack in another direction, X direction, first direction and second direction, X and Y direction perpendicular to each other. So you can put the blade battery on the Y direction, and you have the X direction, you have multiple blade battery, and at the two end, you have first wall and second wall holding the blade battery together, and you have the positive terminal and negative terminal on the two walls at the side, and you have a cover and you have a tray at the bottom, and this is how the battery pack, the cell to pack C2P battery pack of BYD is being protected. So anyone who wants to use blade battery and put it in such a format will be infringing the C2B patent owned by BYD. And that was 2019, and 2021 BYD came up with another improvement in an effort to squeeze out more space and to make installation simpler, right? BYD came up with cell to body integration method. Cell to body basically in essence is you use the upper cover of the blade battery as the floor of the body of the car, right? So you don't have to have additional tray. That tray become the floor. And also there are multiple mounting structure that support the battery is taken away. No more supporting structure. The battery itself, the blade battery itself is becoming the structure to hold the battery together. So in this cell to body configuration, battery is not only an energy body, it's a structural body. It participates in the force distribution and stress distribution of the whole vehicle. So what are the benefits? Okay, and this C2B solution was protected by BYD in this US patent filed in 2022. The technical advantage of this configuration is you take out the floor, you create more space for more cells to be included. And also you take out all this mounting structure, external structure to fix the floor, everything. You take it out, so installation becomes simpler. There's no more mounting structure to hold the battery together. You use the battery to hold the structure together, then it will be simpler and cheaper to produce, simpler to install. And also because you don't have those mounting parts, those fixation point, then you don't get loose easily. So the effective rate become lesser. So it's an incremental improvement. Try to squeeze more battery, try to make battery multifunctional, becoming the structure and make it denser. And therefore you come up with this C2B innovation. So C2B innovation is protected by this patent that I have shown in 2022. And this C2B innovation is protected in such a way, this combination of parts is what how C2B patent was protected. It's a packed body, plurality of cell from one side to the other side, the first wall and the second wall to become the supporting body for the weight of the floor, the body. Okay, so in a dependent claim, it is also stated that the packed body is integrally formed on the vehicle. So you don't need to have a separate installation. When you form, you can roll it out or extrude it out together, make the production simpler because there are not many parts, battery becoming the structural part. So at the same time, 2020, Tesla also moved to that direction. And Tesla's solution to it is they make battery in cell as the chassis, right? Take away battery pack altogether. Cell become the body part, become the structural battery of the body. That was introduced by Tesla. Okay, and BYD also developed something along the same line in 2021. Instead of using cylindrical cell, BYD came up with a hexagonal prism cell, prism battery for their C2C cell to chassis solution. So this, you can see the picture, the comparison between the two, right? One is a cylindrical there's no more borders, no more frame. Battery become the body, become the chassis. But BYD improved it by using hexagonal shape. And this was protected by BYD as a utility model. We can't find any patent for this. I think one of the reason is probably it's not too inventive because Tesla has done it, but they improve it, right? So new combination, not too inventive. So they filed as a utility model, and we can't find the patent in US also because US doesn't have a utility model patent. So this is a utility model patent filed in China. And because we can't find the English version, we have to use the translation, computer translation to translate the claims for your reading, right? So what are the advantage of this hexagonal? Again, is utilization. better space utilization, better energy density. You can pack more battery at the limited space. You put in more electrolyte, make it more longer battery life. And also, if you put those hexagonal together, it creates a honeycomb structure. And you know the honeycomb structure with no gaps is structurally stronger, right? So it has a stronger structure. So this is basically what BYD has protect in this C2C structure. It have a housing, and this housing is made into a polygonal prism shape. You have cover over the housing, and this accommodative space, the cover will have one negative terminal and multiple positive terminal, and the positive terminal surround the negative terminal. And you have the pole core of the battery inside that cell. So this becomes the chassis of the vehicle. So this is as far as battery configuration is concerned. And I would like to next look at some of the innovation by BYD in improving the user experience. So one of it is the BYD Intelligent Body Control System. This is the first fully developed, self-developed intelligent body control system produced by a Chinese company. It utilizes intelligent damping body control system, intelligent air body control system, and intelligent hydraulic body control system. Different system put together to provide collaborative control of the car body dynamics, which includes XYZ motion, lateral, longitudinal, and vertical motion, right? So all these come together to make sure that the body is balanced, is controlled, and with this intelligent body control system, even with a flat tire, the car can continue to drive with 3 wheels, right? This is what the system can do. So this is basically this intelligent control system. Make sure that vehicle is compatible in different driving scenario. And if you do a sharp cornering of your car, then the balancing can make sure that the vehicle doesn't roll over. And when you do high-speed acceleration or emergency braking, the intelligence system is able to make sure that the people sitting inside, they are not displaced too much. And it also prevents the car from scratches from underneath, from scratches and damages under different road conditions. So you have a smart system that using all the suspension, all the hydraulic air suspension to make sure the bottom doesn't touch the ground. So this is the patent filed by BYD to do the control system. It is a process patent, right? It's an active suspension control method characterized in that. These are all translated from Chinese because this is a Chinese patent. I can't find equivalent in US, so we translate it from Chinese. It is an active suspension control system comprising the system can gather the driving status of the vehicle, driving status data. From the driving status data, you can determine the driving condition, and the driving condition, based on the driving condition, the shock absorbers of the active suspension are controlled according to the stiffness requirement according to the driving condition. So you can control to adjust the stiffness of the car depending on the driving condition. And claim to further define how to decide the stiffness requirement of the car by looking at the corresponding stiffness range. So I think this translation might not be very accurate, right? Because it's computer translated from Chinese. In Mandarin, it's called the 刚度需求. It's a stiffness condition, a stiffness requirement, the 刚度需求. And based on the medium stiffness range, then you can come up with a stiffness condition, and the active suspension will adjust the shock shock absorber accordingly, right? So this is how you create a new function for your car, a car that will be more stable. It will be able to travel on 3 wheels, right? So another interesting platform introduced by BYD in 2022 is that of the E4 platform. E4 platform is a power system that uses 4 independent electrical motor as it's called. Then connected to the 4 electric, it connected these 4 independent electrical motor can independently send thought output control to the 4-wheel independently. Then everything is controlled by a central control system, the brain in between, controlling the 4 motor and that independently control the 4-wheel. So this E4 platform totally do away or does away the traditional gear steering system and the braking system. If you want to park a car now, right, you need to use your steer and use your brake to park your car, right? Because each of your wheels are not independently controlled. They are all linked together. But when you have this 4-wheel independently, we can adjust the wheel independently, the motor that can adjust the direction and the thought of the wheel independently, then you can have multiple possibility for your car. One example is you can do a 360-degree turn. With precise thought distribution, you can make a 360-degree turn. You don't have to reverse your car and then move it to the other way. Or you can do side parking by lateral movement, or we call it crab walking, right? You can walk into your parking space without having to reverse your car. So these are all made possible because of this E4 system. So in order to control that 4 motor and the 4 parts connected to the 4 motors independently, you need to have a unified and coordinated control system. The software has to be very smart. So this is what this patent is about, right? This BYD filed a patent. Again, it's a Chinese patent. I can't find it in US yet. Maybe it has not been more than 12 months, has not been filed in US yet. So this patent filed in 2023, yeah, it's not more than a year yet. So we can't find equivalent US patent. So this patent is talking about how you have got parts of the same function connected together to the central controller, and parts of different function also connected through another network to the second controller. The reason why they do it is for 2 reasons. Parts of the same function connected together through a network so that, you know, communication can be very fast without delay, and parts of different function connected together through another network to make sure that if the central controller fail, the 2 parts can still function. So for safety reason. So if you want, you can read about this in the handbook. So it's basically what the claim is all about. It claims, you know, vehicle control system, parts of same function are connected together through a first network to the central controller. And parts of the second functional domain connected together through a second network to the central controller. And parts of different function are connected together through a third network. So this is basically how they do the control of so many complicated parts and make sure it doesn't fail. So with that E4 platform, BYD go further. BYD use that 4 independent control to make it turn a car, an ordinary conventional car, into an amphibious car. You can travel both on the road and also in water. So they launched that emergency float mode. The emergency float mode has to use a 4-engine, 4-motor, 4-wheel independent control E4 system, right? That's the prerequisite. but it also added in a rading detection system that you can detect that when you are floating, then the system is smart enough to identify that you are in a floating mode. Then it will activate the floating mode to make you able to, swim and navigate in water, right? This is before you move on to a solid ground. So this is already incorporated in one of the models selling in China. And this is the patent filed in China for this emergency float mode. And again, you can see it's a combination of parts, right? You have got the 4-engine, 4-motor, 4-wheel, and you also have this floating mode. Once you detect that you are in a floating mode, then the system will capture the yaw velocity, how your car, rotate according to the current, the yaw velocity. Then your central controller can send output taught to the 4 different motor to adjust to the actual yaw rate. This is what the patent is about. Okay, so this is another innovation. And in June, recently, as short as a month ago, we also read news about BYD came up with a hybrid car, super hybrid power system that enable you to travel in one single charge and one full tank of gasoline, travel up to 2,000 kilometers. Meaning with one charge, you can travel from Singapore to Bangkok, right? So this is quite an achievement, and it's actually a lot of people would like to buy car now, electric car now, because of this. You don't have to put in petrol so many times, right? You one single charge and one single tank can last you for a month already. So this is what you do. They add in planetary gear, dual clutches into the into a hybrid system. Again, this patent was filed as utility model, not as a full patent. It's just an improvement on the conventional hybrid system, but they add in clutches, dual clutches, and planetary gear into this configuration to enable it to work more efficiently and to run longer distance, right? Yeah, so it's not a major improvement from the traditional hybrid car system, but it adds in some improvement to make the engine more efficient. And this is the claim. It's a combination that makes it happen. And what is unique is using the dual clutch assembly and also the planetary gear system, which you can see here in the hybrid system. Okay, so I've shared with you BYD innovation, BYD business model, and BYD explosive growth in the last 2 to 3 years. And BYD certainly has done very well, and it is all reflected in the share price. Over the last 5 years, BYD has increased more than 2.7 times. And Warren Buffett actually made an investment in 2008. Instead of Tesla, Warren Buffett invested in BYD instead of Tesla. And he invested 232 million in BYD. Yeah, they invested, okay. Warren Buffett, through its investment arm, invested in 10% of BYD in 2008. Initially valued at, the 10% initially was valued at $232 million. In 2022, the 232 million has increased to $7 billion due to the technological war with US. Maybe Warren Buffett has downsized its investment from 10% to 5%. But despite that, their share in the company still stand at $3 billion. So this is definitely a very, very impressive company, grow very fast. And in today's sharing, we try to share, our findings about BYD. So with that, I come to the end.